Hey Space Watchers, and welcome from Muscat in Oman, from the second edition of the Middle East Space Conference. And I'm very, very proud to be back. With me is Judith Delany, and many of you know Judith, as we do. She was the driving force behind Powering Space, and you run Perihelion, and here she will be with me as our field reporter. Judith, how are you doing today?
Hi Torsten, I'm good and so happy to be with you here today and to get to work with you again. It's been a while.
Absolutely.
So I'm really excited to cover the next few days with you here from Muscat.
We are here again at the second edition of the Middle East Space Conference, and that's a 3-day event. So what do you expect from that event here in this region? I mean, it's not the space power region, obviously, but so what are your expectations?
Well, I'm really excited to just learn more about what is going on with the local capabilities here in Oman and surrounding. We know there is like a Arab space strategy plan going in place, led by Kuwait. We know that Oman is really using space under Vision 2040 to establish national capabilities in the environmental sector and the agricultural sector, like the other nations of the Persian Gulf as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this has, grown over the last year. The other thing that excites me is to see how this will influence partnerships with Europe, which is actually also a topic today. We'll have several panels today about partnership with other agencies and with agencies not just in Oman but in the Gulf region as well, and how that will shape the next few years, because geopolitics are changing, partnerships are changing
on a daily basis. Yeah.
And this region is an exciting region to partner with.
So maybe you give us a bit of an outlook. What can we expect today? So, there's a 3-day agenda, but let's start one by one, because you will get this program here from us on a daily basis.
Yeah. Okay, so today we really have a focus, obviously, on Oman's capabilities, on Oman's strategy, and Oman's sovereignty with satellite communication is going to be a topic today. We'll have welcome remarks in a few minutes, and then we'll just really see what has happened here. And again, there'll be 2 panels today, specifically with leaders of other space agencies and with also commercial space players, which I'm really excited about, talking about possibilities of partnerships and here in the region and beyond, which I again think is such an important topic. Specifically, just because I mentioned it now, because commercialization here is a big thing. We're a bit behind this in Europe sometimes, but private capital and space R&D are things that are not new to the region and could potentially, foster interesting developments when you enter into partnerships.
I think what you mentioned is something that I recognized yesterday. Oman seems to be very late to the party. Yeah. I had the pleasure 15 years ago to be here and to help them with their first satellite, and now it's procured. With Airbus last year.
23 was it 24?
Last year.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
And we will have also the Airbus people talking about Oman Sat1. What is fantastic. So, but when we look into the region, we have the UAE really as on the forefront. We have Saudi picking up with, I would more or less say, brute force in the financing.
The speed is insane, yeah.
And now Oman, so in a very humble, in a very modest way, but still structured. And I'm very curious to see what we will learn here from the next days. And don't forget, there's a launch pad also here in Oman, and we will have the chance to speak with many of the leaders. We'll provide you some interviews, some video interviews, and also some Space Café radios. And I'm looking forward to get a deep dive here into the region. And yesterday when I past immigration, the guy asked me, "Hey, have you been here?" I said, "Yeah, it's many years ago." And he looked up, it's on a file, it's 2014, so 12 years ago, and I'm back.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to hear your perspective of what has changed in the last decade that you weren't here, when you've worked here and actively actually shaped the sector and now coming back at the second edition and seeing how it's developed. And as you said, Oman is pushing. We know that space isn't a separate point in Oman's Vision 2040, but instead like an enabler for every other aspect. So it's really going to be interesting to see how that shines through. And to see your perspective actually as well, not just the people you interviews, but yours personally as well. So I'm excited for that.
I will not be shy to to share that. There's one keynote later on. I'm very curious to hear from the Minister of Youth in the UAE. So how they turn space into something exciting for youth. I mean, in a day, we are all space nerds. We all live for it, and we like it. But we are competing with others. We are competing with AI. We are competing with biotech, with Bitcoin, with whatever it is. And so, where does space stays in that? And I'm very curious to see. So
I'm actually excited about this as well, but from a different point of view. I mean, where in the world do you have a Minister of Youth that's a former astronaut, or still an active astronaut, actually, right? And the level of inspiration youth gets when you see, okay, the person who's actually responsible for our education, for getting into STEM fields, is an astronaut themselves. That's pretty cool.
Come on. Germany just got one of the undersecretaries in the Ministry of Future and Space, and that's Thomas Reiter. So I mean,
okay, point taken. But you know what I mean. It's going to be really interesting to hear how they do this, because obviously this region is really pushing for talent. Education is such a massive thing here. From the earliest ages, kids are being fostered in their talents. So it's going to be really actually also to see what, for me, as someone who does outreach and does communication, can actually maybe learn from that. I'm really excited about that. And again, and now there's the communicator talking. I'm also really interested to see how the storytelling is different here than it is in Europe. And how that can maybe, what I can maybe learn, because you can all learn something, we can all learn something.
Cool. So stay tuned. You will hear from us later during the next days. Judith, thank you very much for the moment, and I'm looking forward to the next days with you. With that, Space Watch out here from Muscat.